Tēnā koutou katoa, kei tōku taha, a Papa Ron Baker, rongonui, roti te ao nehi. Kia ora everyone, I'm here with Papa Ron Baker and he has a wealth of expertise in Māori mental health and tikanga and te reo. Well, he's really famous anyway in our circles here. So it's my privilege. I'm Regan Belzer and we're here to talk a wee bit about kaupapa Māori philosophies around working through grief and, you know, at that time when our whānau, you know, have taken their lives. So we're talking about that bit because it's Suicide Prevention Week. But that's actually our mahi. We talk about it quite often because he tino taumaha is so heavy for so many of our whānau. And so the conversations are important to have so that we can find ways to work through this. And Papa, you talk about oranga, ne? About life and life force, and that's the space that we work in. While our whānau are here, then we've got them to work with, ne Papa?
Ai, kia ora. Mihi atu tēnei kia tātou. Kia ora, Regan. Kia ora tātou huri no. It's one of those things that the people don't like to talk about, and probably we've done ourselves a disservice by not doing that. More often we talk about it, I think our tupuna believed in doing these things, talking about things, it has to do with oranga. We don't have such a thing as being unwell. What we have is this way, the tingang ake ukini whakaora te tangata, which is about finding ways, dealing with issues so that it enhances our wellness, allows us to continue on with this with wellness. Te oranga o te tangata, that's the kaupapa that our tupuna left us, wellness. So these things that we, even in such difficult times as suicide and someone's passing can be, there are the processes of dealing with that, of us helping us to address those issues, are all about us maintaining our wellness, getting on with life, so that in a good and healthy, wellness-orientated way.
And that's what I really love about Te Ao Māori too, is it acknowledges that there's a cycle to things. Yeah. You know, that if there's an up, there's a down, but if there's a down, there's an up. And that often happens out in our oranga, that balance. Yeah.
Well, that's what life is. Nā picking me ngai heke. The ups and downs of life. There's gains and losses in everyone's life. If you haven't got any gains and losses, your name's God, you don't belong here. Everybody has me nā picking ngai heke. The most difficult one to deal with nā heke is grief and bereavement cycle. And often...
And Papa working, or not working, but as a kaumatua, you often are confronted by tangihana and grief.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
And whānau who are, you know, desperate for support and awhi. What are some of the strategies you utilise for our whānau?
Well, the big thing for me is the things that two things that my father said that to me. One is that we only ever had two. Everything has a positive or negative, a yin and a yang, or a Māori mate, whatever you want to do. But there was always life and then there's death. That's all we had. And all our customs and tika were about us maintaining good ways through those things. And we've got a whole range of activities which tell us about how we might whānau mai, and we might grow ka tipu haere, as we grow and all these things. And then we arrive at this place where we pass on, where one of our whānau passes on. Doesn't matter how they do that. We only ever had that. And we'd get a call, ka hinga, ta tōtara nui, uke te ao, te wao nui a tāne. And we all knew that someone had passed away. We didn't get say, look, things like suicide, don't come. We just said we only ever had, they passed on, so we were going to gather together as a people, as a whānau, to help settle the whānau and to help look after the bereaved whānau pani, and our tonga.
That's the issue now, ne Papa, is that people are labelled, so if they take their own life, that's a suicide, so we'll deal with it differently. Yeah. But the mamai's still the same.
Mamai's still the same.
Still the same.
So we only ever had. So we would just come together, and that's we continue to do that. Come together, be together, and gather ourselves together so that we can discuss and we can talk through and celebrate the wellness journey of our whānau, our whanaunga. Tēnā te tino kaupa mō te tangi, haere ki te tangi ai. Haere ki te tangi ai. So you should go to the tangi, you go to a funeral so that you can express your feelings, so that you're able to help the journey of the wairua, of the whānau, and help look after the whānau by sharing, by getting yourself into a place and space where you can continue in a good, healthy way. Not taking all these things away from the tangi without saying anything so that they might come out in an unhelpful way later on.
You see some whānau just being busy so they don't have to actually go there and
say something.
And say something or actually connect their feelings to that space. So they keep busy, but then later on it catches up with them, eh?
Yeah, and you'll see the behaviour change. Go, a wanga rerike. All those ahuatanga nei, o mohi tatu rau kaupapa whakarerike ai ukene. We know the things which are different for us. And they look different. It's only because they're coming from another space and place which hasn't had a way of expressing itself. So it comes out in another way.
So they're holding their grief.
Because
it hasn't been able to move.
That's part of it, yeah. And sure, when you hear someone from such an event like this has happened, sure, you get a bit unsettled, your mind goes different places, and you can get stunned, and your reaction can be a whole range of different things. But that's just normal. That's just normal. And a whole range of, if you go to lots of times, you see the whole range of human experience, a whole range of human responses to those things. And that's just normal. And it's just their way of dealing with the ups and downs of life. But the main thing is about being able to have an opportunity to share what you and to hear and to share with the whānau and to share with the different whakapapa and groups that come to the tangi. Be with them. It's all a combined whānau way of dealing with things.
A shared connection. To that person.
Yeah, it's not an individual thing, and that's what makes it really difficult to deal with when you're trying to deal with as an individual on your own. But it becomes a much easier and supportive way of doing it with the whānau and with the tangi, with the whānau, everybody together. Listening to it, sharing, talking about the experiences, talking about the life journey, talking about some things we're not good. Some people do, and that's okay. It is, but that's what life is.
Yeah, I find a lot of us find it hard to talk, hard to show our emotions.
We need to encourage people to do that at that
create
time.
Those safe spaces.
Yeah. And the marae and the tangi is a safe space.
And that's one place, and I guess when you're not at the marae, there's other safe spaces that you can create so people can connect.
Well, you can
share.
We have opportunities to do that. You know, we're starting to get very much more involved with matariki, and there's the time for maumaharatanga and what all those things, bringing forward those that are passed on that year, kōrero mai, different places, there's places about that. So the main thing is the whakaputatu ngā huatanga nei. Things get out so you can start to talk to deal with it.
Papa, I've got a question for you. So recently I heard there was a young woman who took her life as she was going to a school, a high school, and the school is finding it really hard to deal with it. They don't know what to do. And this isn't the first time it's happened. So there's a long list in that town of things like this happening. And those young people have no way of sharing or addressing or the whānau don't know what to do. What would you suggest? What's something that would be beneficial?
It's always difficult dealing with schools because they have this control freak something out of Wellington and other things, and they've got different programs. Like we have a couple of programs which go in there where Mike Smith and the other people do some things like that. But more often than not, it requires more immediacy. If something happens now, the time to deal with things is now.
Straight away, not leave it.
Don't leave it.
Because the thing is, children talk. young people still
they
talk
do
about
indeed.
it. It's not that it's not being talked about, but maybe they're not able to guide
Right.
or find those other examples to awhi.
They should find some time as a class, or those, in particular, those who are close to the person that's passed on. More often than not, it's the class. To find some time to spend some time talking about that themselves. That would be most useful for them.
And I guess in the tangihana concept, action is that when you come together and you talk, then you feel supported and you're able to look out for each other and kind of know where people are at and stuff.
Yeah, the couple of tangies that I've been to where it's involved someone from the school, some of the close people would come during the tangi. A lot of them came on the last day. The last day is not a good day to try and deal with issues. Because it comes in, they want to have big mihis, but you're constrained by some time restraints because the bell's going to go at 11 o'clock, you're going to have the karakia, and there's all the hakaris organised. So people come in, they all come in at 10 to 11. And 10 of them, who's going to get normally just one mihi, and everyone gets settled down. So they don't get a chance to really express some of those things. But so they need to find some time at school in their own time. Would be much more beneficial for them. If the teachers, I do know that some teachers are not happy themselves dealing with some of that stuff.
Yeah, it's hard for the community often, isn't it?
Yeah. But if they did find some time, they just an official time. Unfortunately, the good thing, though, my father said lots of things, but all these little things.
You're so clever.
There's no time on whānau time. Whānau time is healthy time. Half whānau time is good time. No matter what comes out, it's all whānau time. We try and control it. If you've only got 40-minute time period slot, it's really difficult to do that because often it requires more dialogue and debate about it. And those in their class have a lot of intimate or close relationships and close cordials with that. So listening to that can be a bit. But if they do that, they will find a much more healthier way of get working through it and to be able to get on with their lives. Because they've got to. You have to grow some more ways of remembering them because there's a gap in your friendship. You look around to your left, he's not there anymore. What is there? Maumaharatanga. It's memories. And they will come up all the time. They don't just go away because they're gone and you're so it's an ongoing process about dealing with these things. Ka haere tōna atu ki nei te mamai. Ka haere tōna atu ki nei tō haere ki longa te mato te whenua. Ka haere tōna ai. Tai ake te wā, ki te atu ki nga huatanga, tangi mai. You've got to stop and find some times. The most useful thing is about the teardrop, the roimata pene. Roimata comes all the way from your pito and ka hoki mai ki a papatunuka. When again, you should not try and stop the teardrops. Pēra waiho tia mai. Ko e ta mamai, ko mutu te renga o te roimata. When the pain stops, the tears stop.
But the tears is one way of moving that pain.
It's one way of moving the
in
pain.
your tummy,
It is.
in your chest.
Everywhere
Makes
else.
you feel mamai, mauiwi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
E ki whakangāwara ni to haere. It will help to settle things and help you to get on with the life's journey.
Let the tears flow.
Yeah. Pēnei mai. So if nothing else,
Tāhua.
that's probably the most useful advice that I've heard.
The roimata.
The roimata.
Such power, eh?
It is power.
Wonderful.
Tēnā te tahi o ngā kōrero wahi o tia mai tō tātou ni tipuna ki a tātou. Ka haere ki te tangi ai. Ka haere ki nei hoki nati ki tō mahi ki te kura o koutou nā rangatahi mā ara. Ai, tika ai o ki nei. Hui ai. Tā koto ai o ki nei nā hoatanga. Whakaputa mai o ki nei tō maitanga tō kōrero ki waho nei. Koe. Ki o ngā wari o ki nei ta haere. That's really the kaupapa. The whakangāwari ta haere. To make things a much more easier way of journeying forward.
And moving forward in
It's moving forward.
this world, eh?
This will. Hey, tāki ki tau tūro nei. Hey. So kia ora koutou.
Kia ora. So just before we go, we just have a really special kaupapa called Puawai Kahurangi. And in this special week, between the 7th and the 13th, We're putting out the pānui for as many people as can happen to create a puawai kahurangi, this very special, beautiful flower. As a maumaharatanga, is remembering those who have passed on, but it is also a really special taonga to be able to talk about your memories or actually your own connection and your own emotions and how you can move through grief as well. Papa, have you got any final words to share before we bring Rongo Mai Wahine in to create one of these beautiful puawai for everybody to learn how to make?
The two things I'd just like to say is that this puti can be created and made for different things wherever you happen to be. Because these memories come back wherever you happen to be. And often they come at unusual times for most people. But because you happen to be somewhere and something will trigger off the maumaharatanga, and so you can use this taonga, this way of dealing with it, of helping to express your feelings, helping to express yourself and helping to deal with that thing, and you'll have something wonderful to remember them with as well. And the other one is that have a try. You know, what you can lose? You won't lose anything. You will gain a lot more understanding about yourself. And I think that's the most crucial taonga, to helping yourself understand yourself, dealing with things. So kia ora.
Such a taonga. And I really love that little extension that she's done, and you can put a pin on and hold it close to your heart as well. To remember those, but to remember also ka puawai anō koe. You go through hard times, but you can blossom again. Yeah, one step at a time. So beautiful, Papa. Thank you for your kōrero. Man, I always love sitting and listening to your kōrero. Nui te hohonutanga.